Time we hold another session on parliamentary-related activities around the globe. More than 600 delegates across the globe participated in the 66th conference of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association held in Accra, Ghana. Just as the Community Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States, the ECOWAS Parliament arrived at far-reaching decisions at its seminar hosted in Winneba, also in Ghana. And history birthed two events as Canada gets first black Speaker of the House of Commons, while in the United States of America, a new Speaker of the House of Representatives emerged following Kevin McCarthy's impeachment. A lot is happening on the global stage, you would say, and your delight station, the NTA Parliament, is here to bring to you all the news. I am delighted to welcome you to another session on Global Parliament from the stables of the largest television network in Africa. I am talking about the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. My name is Vivian Idekbefo. Many thanks for joining us on this session. The ECOWAS Parliament, also referred to as the Community Parliament, had a seminar in Ghana where it made its position known on some developments on the sub-region and Africa as a whole. Here are highlights.
With the recent incidences of military coup in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso and Niger Republic, experts say democracy is in danger and there is need to entrench the principles of accountability in the minds of citizens. This second parliamentary meeting is to uphold regional stability, economic growth, and rule of law.
It's the emerging remilitarization of governance with the return once again of the military onto the political scene, who have neither consulted nor received any mandate from the people on whose behalf they purport to act.
Speaker ECOWAS Parliament Muhammad Sidi Tunis says Africa must denounce military coup, corruption, poor leadership, and anti-democratic forces. He aligned with those resisting anti-democratic forces while in support of measures to apply early warning system.
We must embrace democracy as essential to progress and muster the confidence to speak out against leaders who are solidifying their hold on power against the wishes of the people, because we have a moral obligation to do so.
These actions are a betrayal of democratic principles we hold dear, and we demand a swift return to constitutional rule. We must affirm unequivocally that regression is not the solution. Our golden age lies ahead of us and not in the shadows of the 1960s and 80s.
With the theme, Challenges of Unconstitutional Regime, Change and Presidential Term Limits in West Africa, the role of the ECOWAS Parliament, it is expected that robust and sustainable solutions to challenges confronting the region could be identified at the engagement. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News. The fifth legislature of ECOWAS Parliament, which consists of 15 member countries, has enormous stacks of coup-related challenges, which many believed could be addressed through diplomacy while putting pressure on the coupists to step down. The session deliberated on promoting the role of political parties and democratic consolidation in West Africa, challenges of unconstitutional regime, change and presidential terms limit. These are roles ECOWAS Parliament agrees to continue to play in strengthening national and regional democratic process.
So our partners sometimes allow us to give us a little space to breathe so we can think clearly about the solutions, and only then can they come in to support us to ensure that we're on the right path to consolidating democratic governance of the continent.
Speakers believe that African solutions must be tailored to African problems, urging to allow ECOWAS to drive the seat. They, however, advise political actors who seek political positions through elections to ensure that the economic well-being of the citizens are attended to.
If you don't take them to the economic kingdom, they will kick you out, either through a military coup or a civilian coup. It's as simple as that.
Many African countries, money banks are in charge. They determine who become what, when and how. They determine who become the candidate. This must be looked into critically.
As deliberations continue on causes of military takeover in the region, the meeting is expected to come up with workable recommendations acceptable to member countries. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News. This second extraordinary session of the Community Parliament is dedicated to the consideration and adoption of the 2024 draft budget of the Parliament supporting women and youth development. Speaker ECOWAS Parliament Muhammad Sidi Tunis says the fifth legislature under his stewardship will ensure that ECOWAS Youth Parliament is established to bring about more youth involvement and participation in political institutions in the sub-region, so as to sway them away from vices.
We have the moral obligation, like never before, to work towards protecting the dividends of democracy, including freedom and justice, peace and security, accountability and economic prosperity. It is my belief, hope and prayer that democracy will be allowed to prevail in the West African sub-region to prepare the level of development we so desire for ourselves and our people.
Speaker Tunis stated that despite the challenges faced by democracy in the sub-region, it is in the interest of members of parliament to defend and promote the sacred values of democracy.
Leaders must understand that the constitutional engineering to perpetuate themselves in power is an infringement on the sovereign will of the people, a clear violation of their mandate to rule, and a setback in democratic development and consolidation.
The second extraordinary session continues with committee sittings. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA, is an established organization within the Commonwealth. It has a membership of more than 180 legislatures drawn from the 56 member independent states of the Commonwealth. Nigeria is a member and currently chairs the Africa region. Let me save the rest as we meet our guest who will enlighten us on the CPA and its activities. This interview was shortly before the 66th conference held recently in Ghana. You're welcome to this segment of Global Parliament, and we have with us Honorable Zainab Gimba. She is the member representing Bama Ngala, Kalabalge Federal Constituency of Borno State. I know you're wondering why she's here, but I will tell you. She is the chairperson of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians International, and she doubles as the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Africa region. You're welcome to the program, Honorable. And let me congratulate you on your election as the chairperson for the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians International.
Thank you.
You wear a double cap.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But first, we would like to know what the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is all about.
Thank you so much. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association was established in 1981, and it represents Commonwealth jurisdiction. This association was established irrespective of gender, religion, race, or culture, and are united by a community of interest, respect for the rule of law, and individual rights and freedoms, and by the pursuit of the positive ideas of parliamentary democracy. This is all about CPA.
Now, you are the chairperson for the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians. What is that part of the Commonwealth Association all about?
Women Parliamentary we call it the CWP, maybe in my conversation I can say CWP, is an organ of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So historically, it was founded by women delegates in the 1989 plenary conference that women could discuss ways to increase female representation in parliaments and work towards the mainstreaming of gender consideration in all CPA programs and activities.
So does the CWP have an agenda or some sort of strategy?
Yes, as I told you, the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians is the network of women members of the CPA's parliaments and legislatures. So the CWP network provides a means of building the capacity of women elected to parliament to be more effective in their roles. This is one. Because improving the awareness and ability of parliamentarians, both male and female, the CWP is targeting both male and female parliamentarians and encouraging them to include a gender perspective of, a gender perspective of in all aspects of their role in the parliament. You know, by so doing, the male parliamentarians will now support all activities of the that are gender inclusive in the parliament. So that shows we cannot do without them. We always need their support to support our agenda, to support our objectives, to support our vision and mission. And in so doing, the network achieves its objectives through regular advocacy to branches, CPA branches, and women-based NGOs. We organize conferences, seminars, and workshops, all in an effort to see that we work towards increased women participation in politics. We want to see increased women in parliament. And in addition to that, we want to see that women have gained enough capacity to work as parliamentarians effectively in the discharge of their roles in terms of formation of bills, in terms of oversight, and all other parliamentary jobs.
So has the CPA been able to, CWP been able to achieve these goals?
Yes, you know, we have, mostly what happened is that we have some strategic development plans in both CPA, in all the regions, and also in the internationally as well. So in these strategic development plans, what we do is to create awareness. We visit all the parliaments across Commonwealth. We lobby, especially when election is coming up, and then to have more women participation. We lobby through the parliament, through the political parties, through the presidency, through the NGOs and civil society organizations. And over time, we are able to see that. And some of these policies there has to be some deliberate policies in government. For instance, in Rwanda. Rwanda has about 61.7% or so. And this is by implementing the affirmative action. By implementing the affirmation action, they have about 61.3%, the highest we have. And we have, in Africa, we have places like Tanzania, we have places like South Africa where we have about 46.3%. Namibia has about 44.2%. I mean, Mozambique, they have about 41.7%. Cape Verde, they have about 41.3%. And though we have very low number of parliaments where the participation is high, we are still working on that. And these policies have actually helped a lot in increasing women participation, especially in the parliament. If other countries like Nigeria, like Botswana, Gambia, I mean, I'm so specific about Africa because we are doing a lot of work in Africa to make changes, at least to see the examples in Rwanda, in Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique, and the rest, to scale up with what we already have. In Nigeria, we have only about, unfortunately, we have about 4.7%, which I think is the lowest. Or maybe it's one of the lowest, I can say. So, but if, for instance, the last time during the Constitutional Review Committee, the Parliament came up with, the National Assembly came up with a lot of amendments in the Constitution that would have, if adopted, that would have changed the whole scenario by now. But unfortunately, it didn't go through. But still, we are not relenting in our efforts to see that the next set of amendment that is going to come up, we are still going to push for that. So if we have the affirmative action, if government in any situation can make deliberate plans to change the whole situation, I think we'll have more women in parliament. And having more women in parliament will change a lot of things, because women need to be in critical positions both in parliament and outside parliament, at least to make decisions that can affect the development of women in the society as a whole.
Now, as a chairperson, you have been to some countries making a case for women representation, like you just told us. Recently, you were in Botswana. Could you take us through that journey to Botswana, what you achieved there?
What we are advocating is that last time I was in Botswana, I was in Gambia, Sierra Leone, Tanzania. We visited most of Australia, in Gibraltar. We visited most of these regions, or most of these countries where they are about to start election. The recent one we did was Botswana. They are going for election in 2024, and as part of our mandate, we went to Botswana. We had a very robust discussion with the Speaker of the Parliament. We had we had a meeting with the Women Caucus in the Parliament. We had meetings with all the political parties, regardless of whether they belong to the ruling party or the opposition. We had meetings with all the political parties. We had meetings with all the executives, women of the political parties. We met with the whole women in all the political parties together. We also discussed a lot on issues of gender equality, and especially the Agenda 2030 and 2063 with the CSOs and the NGOs. And lastly, we met with the President. And His Excellency President Maxisi actually gave us his commitment. We requested for a political party funding. That is where the economic empowerment will come in, because most women are challenged with lack of funds for campaigns. So we now ask for political party funding. So when women come into election, we want the government to fund their campaigns, to fund their political party activities. Then we also requested for special seats for women. We are not saying that, okay, this constituency belongs to men, and then you should go, and then a woman should. No, we want special seats for women. These things has been done in Rwanda, in Tanzania, in a lot of other countries, even in countries that are not part of Commonwealth, even in Niger. So we just want special seats for women. You know, this is also another way of increasing women participation. And again, we want leadership positions in the parliaments for women. We don't want women to be always backbenchers. We want them to be included in the leadership roles so that they can make they can be part of critical decisions being made in the parliament. So that was the whole thing we have in Botswana. And it is a routine we do in all the parliaments across Commonwealth. whenever there is going to be an election, we are going to visit that parliament. We are going to sensitize we are also so concerned about retaining the parliamentarians, women parliamentarians we have. Then we look for an increase. We don't want it like in Nigeria now. We have 13 before, only 6 return, I think 6 or 7, and then new ones. So it would have been, we would have been happier if all those we have in the 9th Assembly came back, and then we have these new ones. The story would have changed.
In the course of this campaign visits, will I call it that, have they yielded the kind of results that you've been looking for?
Yes, to some extent. It has, because I told you the percentages of all these things, and then they went through all these things we are undergoing in most of these African countries, especially in Nigeria. They went through all of these things, but at the end of the day, at least they are better.
Okay, so congratulations again is in order. Let's talk about inclusion, the vulnerable, the people with disabilities, in this case, women with disabilities. What is the Commonwealth women parliamentarians in particular doing for inclusion of this group of people?
Well, you know, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has a program of inclusion for women, for people with disabilities, for the youth. It is all inclusive. And for the people, this CPA is constantly, striving to open up its space and become, a more inclusive association. That is what it does constantly in order to, increase representation even with persons with disabilities. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Network was established to facilitate, activities of people with disabilities, and then how they can, and encouraging them to include a gender perspective in, even in the people with disabilities. We try as much as possible to include gender perspective in CWP. So the CPA actually works for people with disability. They don't care whether it is male or female, but in our own case, we also have an objective of saying that even people with disabilities, okay, let's have women, so that they will represent women with disabilities. And I think after establishing these networks, we have it has been mainstreamed, and a lot of consideration has been given for their own activities in the CPA over the years.
For the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and the CWP in particular, what constitutes the membership? Who qualifies to be a member?
Well, the CPA currently has a total membership of over 17,000 branches spread across 175 national, state, provincial, and territorial parliaments. And the membership is anybody in the Commonwealth parliaments can be a member.
As a staff or as an
No, as an elected member, a parliamentarian. It is only for elected members of parliament. The association itself is only for elected members of parliament. However, all the above and all these above branches, the 175 branches, they have They are grouped geographically, yes, by regions. So we have like the African region, we have the Asia, we have the Caribbean, we have the British Island and Mediterranean, we have the America and Atlantic, we have the Southeast Asia. I don't know if I have mentioned Australia. We have about, we have about 9 or so regions. And these regions, they have all chairpersons of CWP in each of these regions. Each of these.
And you chair that of Africa.
That of Africa. So, and in overall, all of the regions, we have one international chairperson for CWP.
You are that chairperson.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we round up here, I'll ask, everyone who is in some form of leadership position has some sort of campaign, something very dear to their hearts that they use their office to project that program. What is your campaign? When you leave office, what would you like to say that it was in your time that the CWP achieved this?
Well, what I'm looking at the end of my tenure as CWP chairperson is for us to have, that is globally, more women, to see that more women are elected to parliaments. But equally, I know it is still a long way off, but you can see that most parliaments are dominated by men, and some have even no women at all. But what at the end of this whole strategic plan, we want to see that we have at least 50% of women in all parliaments across Commonwealth. We hope so. We are very optimistic it will happen.
Yeah. So we wish you the very best as you steer the affairs of women parliamentarians in the Commonwealth. We wish you the very best, and thank you for coming on the program Global Parliament.
Thank you.
We have been talking with Honorable Zainab Gimba, the member representing Bama Ngala, Kalakbalgi Federal Constituency of Borno State. She is the chairperson of Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians International and the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians African Region. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And the program Global Parliament continues. And up next is Parliamentary Journal, a segment that breaks down parliamentary jargons. On that note, we adjourn this session of Global Parliament. Remember to engage with us on the social media handles on your screen. Till we come again next week, on behalf of the production crew, I am Vivian Itekwefo. Many thanks for your time.